Price on all, welcome back to a mini Fearless in Devotion, a mini FID, an emergency FID, to discuss today's fixture announcement. And if it didn't feel real that we got to the Championship, then I think it does now, doesn't it? Because there doesn't seem to be a dull week or a dull fixture in this set of fixtures. Let's start at the beginning then, Tim, shall we? That's a big one to start off, isn't it? Southampton away.
Oh, well, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, you can argue we've been shafted because it's a fair old trip on a Saturday morning for a 12:30 televised kickoff. So you would assume a lot of people are going to go down the day before, because that is a 5 a.m. jobber really for a 12:30 kickoff on the South Coast. But you kind of want one of those early tests, and they don't get much better than that. Relegated from the Premier League, they'll be really eager to bounce back straight away. So I think it's a cracking test. I mean, even just looking at the list, it's so weird. It's so weird, and we're going to have to go to Southampton at some point. So let's just get it out of the way. Hopefully, it's a nice warm day for it. It doesn't matter that it's 12:30. We're going to be there in our thousands, whatever they give us. It's going to be great. It's a decent stadium. Let's do it. The Matt Crowell derby. I don't know who Matt Crowell is. Go and Google him.
That's a great blast from the past.
He's the only one I can think of that we've signed from Southampton in the last 30 years. I'm sure there's others, but I can't think of any.
Midfielder from a not too brilliant part of our history, other than the 𝐚𝐰𝐚𝐲𝐿𝐷𝐠 final, of course, in which I think he was on the bench, wasn't he? 𝐒𝐿BO, I mean, what's jumping out to you? I'm just going to run through some of the headlines here. Obviously, you always look towards Christmas, don't you? The big Welsh derby against Swansea at Swansea will be on the 20th of December, which will be a cracker. I think that's, I'm very happy with that one. I'm looking at Portsmouth. Looks like that's away on a Tuesday night, which is a bit of a shame.
Tuesday night, is it?
It's a Wednesday, I think.
It's a Wednesday?
Yeah, it's a Wednesday. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a Wednesday.
Stoke away, 18th of October.
Great.
Close.
Yeah, I think going through it, sorry, can you hear me all right? Because
Yeah.
I'm in Southern Lao at the moment. I think you looked at the across the Christmas period, Sheffield United at home on Boxing Day. We renew our rivalry there. I wonder if they're going to be in. I mean, they're going to spend big, aren't they? They're going to try and go straight back up. But not a lot of people are very happy with their new manager,
Sellers.
Yeah, Sellers, who left Reading and then got sacked by Hull, even though he kept them up. So you could say he was maybe a little bit unlucky there. Good to see. It'd be interesting to see where they are. I mean, you say contenders are contenders everywhere. I am looking forward to Preston away on the 6th of December, just because there's a lad I work with from Preston, and literally he's been to a few Wrexham games, and he spent 10 years patting me on the head going, "Oh, little Wrexham, still in non-league," and now we're playing Preston. And I've never been to Deepdale. There's so many grounds I haven't been to.
You'll fit in well in Preston.
But sorry?
You'll fit in well in Preston. I think I've told you this before. It's an interesting place.
Yeah. I mean, I've been up there a few times. Yeah, you're right. It is interesting. I do like £1.90 pints and fighting in the street. So, yeah, that would be good. And then, yeah, it's a bit of a shame about Portsmouth.
It's a tough start to the season, isn't it? Those first two games, you got Southampton away, then you get West Brom at home. I mean, it's not easy, is it?
I mean, what could characteristically be seen as easy realistically? I mean, what are you looking at? Maybe Oxford, arguably. There's no easy games now.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, what's that? That's the third game in Sheffield Wednesday, an absolute mess, basket case of a club. I mean, it might galvanise the players and prove a point against the owners, but you would like to think if you're going to get some points on the board, you kind of look at that as trying to really take advantage of a wounded animal there. But nothing is guaranteed. Then we've got Southampton home, Southampton away, West Brom at home, Sheffield Wednesday at home, and then we go to somewhere that I've just seen on the Wrexham socials that James McLean is highly anticipating, looking forward to. He said, "Give me Millwall, give me where it's like the most intense atmosphere." So we've got Millwall to round out.
He'll just be faced
August.
with an entire crowd of Andy Gilpins at Millwall.
Yeah, 30th of August, Millwall away. A very family-friendly day out, has to be said.
Can I just read out the first 5 or 6 away games for a minute? Southampton, Millwall, Norwich, Leicester City, Stoke City, Middlesbrough, Portsmouth, Ipswich. That's massive. There's not... That is huge, isn't it? And a lot of those will be at the top.
I just don't know how this season's going to go because, you know, we said that West Brom at home first, really tough one. I can remember, I'm old enough to remember when we got promoted to what is League One now, and West Brom at home were our first game. And we just didn't know how we were going to get on. And I think we won, and we won quite convincingly. So I really would like to see where we are in squad sort of preparation. And what I mean by that is you've got to keep the core of what has made us special with 3 promotions in a row, but then you've got to add quality in places. And I think he's slowly doing that with Ryan Hardy coming in to replace Mullin, which I'm still gutted about. But I think you keep the nucleus of a team that's used to winning and doesn't like losing. We might start quite well. We did in League One. No one expected it, and we were ahead of the curve straight away. I think it will be different. I think we will lose games, and I think what I am looking forward to this championship season, and this sounds nuts, but for the last 3 years, we've had to go, even longer than that, 15 years in non-league, we had to go everywhere and we couldn't lose, and it was a disaster when we lost. If we lost at home, it's a disaster. We lost away at far-flung places, it was always a disaster, and it sort of soured the day a little bit. But you can actually, you're going to have some heavy defeats. Everyone is. Every team can beat everyone else on their day in this. I know it's a cliche, but it's right in the championship. No one ever runs away with it, do they? There will be some hidings handed out. We'll win some games that people don't expect, but we'll also lose a few as well. And I just love the unpredictability and the fact. Sorry, I know I've been rabbiting on a little bit. I'm full of beer now. And the fact that if you go on a run at any point in the season and put 6 or 7 games together, you're up there.
Yeah, the playoffs are almost never out of reach because until very late on. Sorry, yeah, exactly. But you could be in a relegation battle and you win 3 or 4 in a row, and suddenly you're 9th and you're 6 points off the playoffs. So it's a great league, and there's no shame in going to somewhere like Norwich and losing. It's not going to be like, oh God, we lost an away game and everyone's in total meltdown. Although maybe they will.
That's you put that in a much better way than I spent 5 minutes.
No, I really enjoyed it, Andy. Tim, you're on mute.
With that in mind, does it feel like it's a season of free hits? And I mean that respectfully, because I know much has been made of it in previous seasons about performance level. I mean, I've nailed my colours to the mast. I'm very much results of performance. And I think this season, it firmly has to be about results, because performance is a very poor second, I think, in this division. It is dog eat dog, it's cutthroat, right? You just, like you said, it's so unpredictable because we've not been here for 43 years. But I genuinely, it does feel like a season of free hits to a certain degree. It feels like we're doing FA Cup 3rd and 4th rounds week in, week out. And that's the excitement of this, because yes, we've had this meteoric rise over 3 years, right? But for you, Andy, for Reese, for me, there's still that little boy in me that gets excited about 3rd, 4th round day and like, who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? We've made it this far. And in recent years, we've had to do preliminary qualifying rounds and all this jazz. And now we don't need to come into it until the 3rd round. But then that flips, because you've got this element of who we're going to get. We're going to get, is it a Stockport crept through? We're going to renew rivalries with them. Is it going to be somebody from further down the pyramid that there's a large chance that we will have played if they're in the sort of National League setup and stuff. So I just think it's a kind of gives us that free hit feel to it. But then just quickly going back to the fixtures thing before we look at other bits. The festive fixtures, obviously mentioned Sheffield United at home. That is a busy one. Swansea away, Sheffield United, then 3 days later, Preston at home, and then New Year's Day, another Lancashire side in Blackburn Rovers, who, we went there not so long ago in the cup. I mean, that's a good away day on a New Year's Day, isn't it? That's not bad. It's not a million miles away either. Big allocation. Be very interesting.
And another one that stood out for me, Bristol City on Valentine's Day. That'll be a wonderful one for my wife and I. Looking forward to it.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure she'll be thrilled.
Oh God, the nearest one. What's the nearest ones to your birthdays anyway, boys? Out of sheer interest. Mine is 2 days before my birthday on February 9th. We host Millwall. Happy days, another family-friendly birthday for me.
What's nearest to the 18th? March the 18th. Sorry, I don't have the fixtures.
March the 18th.
Sheffield United away. And then Swansea at home before it. That's a nice little sandwich, that. For me, it is on my birthday, Wrexham versus Middlesbrough, last game of the season.
Oh,
and we'll be pushing for automatic promotion to the Premier League, of course.
That's a fid birthday meal out for Reese.
Absolutely. Do let us know in the comments, what fixture are you most looking forward to? We've all just got very, very excited. Is there any other business before we wrap up this very short mini-fid?
Are there any groups of death? I say groups of death. Are there any months of death that you've identified where you think, Jesus Christ? I mean, I know you look at it and we're trying to, we can't even look at it with rose-tinted spectacles. We're looking at it with this massive degree of excitement, which is hard to get away from, let's be perfectly honest. But are there any months there that you think, that is a grim one? I mean, I'm not looking at it, and I've not really identified.
None of them are grim, are they? It's a tough start. I think August and September is tough. Yeah. August and September is tough. When you look, it's just September on its own. Yeah. Well, you've got Millwall on the August bank holiday weekend away. Then you've got QPR at home, Norwich away. They'll be going for broke, Norwich. Derby at home, Leicester away, Birmingham City at home, Stoke, and then you go into October. Then that run is really tough.
Yeah,
but lads, we looked at the League One fixtures last year and went through. God, we've got to go to Huddersfield, and we're playing Barnsley, and just thinking, well, we've got no chance. As Tim said earlier, I do think it is a season of free hits. I think what we need to do next season is not get relegated. And I don't care if we do it on the last game of the season, but with a free-sided ground, with no training ground, as a team that is still in development at this level, because we have had a very, very quick rise through the leagues. I think not getting relegated is a success for this season. Now, I'm not ruling out us shocking a few people, but I still think that's what we should be aiming towards, really. And as I've said earlier, we'll have some wins that we didn't expect, and we'll get some hidings, and might even go on a run of losing, which Parky's never dealt with before, by the way. And you just sort of wonder if I don't even really want to say it, but if we do lose 3 or 4 in a row, how would the sort of crowd feel about that? Do you think we're educated enough to know that this might happen, and
I'm dreading it. I'm dreading
not
it.
Always going to win.
I'm looking forward to it, because I said this a while back, and there's a really good soundbite from Luke Young, which I'll have to dig out from just before he left, and it's just about kind of aligned to what he says, where at some point the wheels will fall off to a certain extent. We've not had that, and we've had this sustained success. Well, last year I think we had a winless run of three games winless run. Do you know what I mean? That's by no means a disaster. So, and if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be this season. And does that then press a bit of a reset on fan expectation and realism? This is like, because I don't want to sort of have a go at any new fans or anything like that. But when you're used to seeing a team winning, if you're a new fan, that's all you've been used to. When all of a sudden they're getting their asses kicked over 3 or 4 games, how do they respond to that? How do you respond to it? We've all been there and done it. And depending on who it is, some days it can hurt, it can really smart. But I think like we've alluded to already, this season, it's like, you know, if we come out of a game and we've got walloped 5-1, I kind of feel like there's going to be an element of shrugging our shoulders and going, oh, well, this is kind of what we signed up for. Yeah. You know, we're here, and you take the rough with the smooth, you take the highs, you take the lows, and that's the beauty of being a football fan. And to be honest, we've had it so good in recent years that it almost doesn't feel real, like in the true sense. It's like you really need to have those wallopings and those kind of shocks. Like, remember that last time I felt really, 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 really low was the Grimsby game. If I'm truly honest, and that because of the circumstances surrounding that, the near miss, and how we ever going to get out of this division, and the fact that we shipped 5 goals at home is probably something to do. It was 5, was it 5-4?
Yeah, 5-4.
I just think you have to manage expectations. I think it's important for us not to have a go at the manager, not to have a go at the players if it doesn't go plain sailing early doors. If you look at that, all right, then, because I'm rabbiting on that, I'm aware of that. If we look at that first 5 games, okay, so Southampton away, West Brom at home, Sheffield Wednesday at home, Millwall away, and QPR at home. 3 home games, 2 away. What is your realistic points tally that you would like to see us take from that? What would you be happy with to take from that, from 15 points there?
9 or 10.
9 or 10. That's, considering you've just said I'd be happy with avoiding relegation. That is a strong.
But yeah,
that's automatic promotion form from his first 5 games.
Okay, fair enough. That's what I mean. Yeah, all right. Well, that's the upper sort of my upper expectations, and that's probably is with losing 2 games and drawing a few. It's, I think, really and truly, we are to some degree a surprise package, and sometimes we can a team like that can start well, but that doesn't mean that they don't get stuck in a rut. And one thing we do know about Parky's Wrexham is they're very organised and they're very good, but they're very, very solid in their tactical approach. And we all know what we mean by that. He doesn't change his formation, and we have to see, is there bright championship managers and players who can unlock that? And I don't want this to be a negative, because now it's making it's making.
But Andy, this is what I'm note of caution is I can see this happening already, because it was happening in all the other leagues, and people have been saying, and as well, some of our oldest, most long-time fans have been there to jump on Parky at every opportunity when there's a slight dip in form, when the performances aren't very good. So I'm fully expecting after the first 5 games, when we've got 2 points, that there's going to be meltdowns galore.
You're taking 2 points. Andy's taking 9 or 10. I'm going to.
Oh, you go in the middle then, Tim.
I was going to go with a safe 7. A safe 7 will do me nicely, and I think I reckon we might win at Southampton, just because it'll annoy so many people. And that is
they're in transition. They're in massive transition. They changed the manager again.
It's a big crowd. That's a 30,000 plus crowd there as well.
You start well, they get on their backs. Yeah.
Well, plenty more to discuss, and there'll of course be more at the usual Fearless in Devotion on Sunday night into Monday. For those of you regular listeners, please do let us know in the comments, as I mentioned, which game you are most looking forward to.
And how many points? How many points we're going to get for the first 5? That'd be great.
And how many points will we get for the first 5? Is it more than 2 or less than 10? Somewhere between the Williams axis. Thank you very much for joining us for this short podcast, and we'll see you on the weekend. Bye bye.
Cheers.